Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Leo of Africa by name, popularly known as Styled by Leo. In this video, I'll be teaching you how I made this short ready to wear gown to match along with my outfit. So let's get into it. I'll be folding the fabric into two, and I'll be folding it with the width of the dress, how wide I want the down part of the dress to be. Then I'll go ahead and measure the length, mark the length on both sides. I will measure my shoulder line, and I'll use the same shoulder line as my armhole determinant. I will measure my bust line measurement at the armhole and add my 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm using 3 by 3.5 for the neckline, a perfect round neck, and I'll extend it by 2 inches to give it that design at the neckline. So I'll measure my shoulder slant, which is 1 inch, and then link my armhole together. I'm going to go ahead and measure the half length, measure my waistline measurement at the half length. Don't forget, I'm adding 4 inches to all my measurements, so the dress will be free. So I'm going to cut out what I have, and I'll be using this to cut out the back piece. So I'm going to fold this, and then you see for the neckline, I'm going to extend this design to make it 7 inches. I want it to come down a little bit. I hope you can all see that. So I'll be folding the rest of the fabric, so I'll be able to cut the back piece. So there will be no zip at the back, there will be no zipper, so I'll just place this on top, and you notice that at the down part from the half length, I'm extending the front a little bit so that I'll have excess at the back, so that it will kind of look like a flare like design at the back. I hope you understand. So every other thing will be the same except for the neckline. You know, the back neckline is always higher than the front, but I'm still going to reduce the back neckline so that it comes down a little bit. I'll be doing that now. I hope you can see. So that it comes down a little bit. So that is it with the gown itself. For this, I'll be cutting the sleeve. I want it to be as wide as possible, just like my sleeve, but it won't be long enough. It's going to stop at the 3/4. So measure your sleeve length and then use 4 inches for your armhole slant. I hope you understand what I mean. So I'll notch the top so I'll know where the center of the sleeve is. I hope you see it's the same pattern as my own sleeve, as the sleeve of the male top that I'm putting on. So for here, I'll be cutting the second sleeve. I don't have enough piece of fabric, so I'll just be managing. I hope you can also, I'll be placing the original one, the first one I cut, on the second one, and then use it to cut it out. Now I'll be cutting the belt. Yes, I want it to have a little belt at the waistline so that I'll be able to tie it, that kind of design. You know, the design where every other part is free, but the waistline is like held together with a belt. That is what I'm trying to make. So my belt is 30 inches long. So just to insert by the sides. I hope you understand. So moving on, I'll also be cutting the pocket. Can you see this is 30 inches? I'll be cutting the pocket. I just had to manage material. It's not easy. Don't be like me. Please get enough fabrics, enough material for your attires, so that there will be no room for errors. So I'll be using 12 inches for the pocket and 7.5 for the pocket opening. From there, I'll be creating a curve down to the length. I hope you can all see. So moving on, I have my pocket, my sleeve, my belt. I'll be notching the sleeve so that I will know where I'm folding at. And of course, I have my fabric. For the fabric, I'll be cutting a facing. Yes, we need the facing for the back to turn the neckline, since I'm not using bias. So here I'm just marking out the pocket opening, which you just come down by 1 inch at the half length, and then mark your pocket opening. My pocket opening is 6.5. So from the 1 inch I notched and measured another 6.5 and then notched. So here I'm cutting the facing. Like I said earlier, just fold any piece of fabric into two, and same piece of fabric, I advise, so that when you turn out, it doesn't look like a roadside made kind of attire. I'm so sorry I used that word. So moving on, this is the facing. Place the front of the piece, the front piece on the facing, and just use it to imitate the neckline. Do you get? Nothing too much. So can you see? So I'm cutting the facing for the back as well. I hope you can also just imitate the neckline and shoulder and then cut out like 3 inches circumference. I hope you can all see that. But for the facing, I'll be padding it because I want it to be strong. Why? Because this kind of neckline, if you notice, it usually opens. I don't want it to fall or open or look kind of childish or as if it's an amateur that made it. So I'll advise you use an interface. For this one, I use the art stay as the interface. So you see what I have now. You see how strong and standing it is. So if you use this to line in the neckline, it is just going to stay like that. So if you don't know, that's a tip for you to follow in case you want to do an open neckline like that or something close to it. Add an interface to your facing or to the lining or to the fabric itself. Just imitate something like this and then gum it on the fabric itself. I hope you can all see. So I'm trimming out my pieces, my facing pieces, as you can see. So this is the front part, and then I'm going to trim it out and also trim out the back part. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So this is it. I'm trimming it out, and then I'm going to go ahead and use it to turn out the neckline. Can you see I have basically everything I need for the dress? I have my sleeve, my pockets, my belt, my gown, and everything is just good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the machine and start sewing. Can you see? So I'll be starting with the facing. Can you see I turn the facing a little bit at the down part just to hem it, to give it a neat down part, a neat finishing. And also I'm hemming the sleeve. Don't forget that sleeve folding that I notched 1 inch earlier is what I'm sewing now. That is what I'm hemming now. But yeah, the breeze of the fan won't let me rest. I had to just stand up and off the fan. So sorry about that. So just hem your sleeve, fold it so that to avoid rough edges. I hope you understand. To avoid rough edges, just fold and hemming like 1 inch or whichever amount of measurement pleases you, like 2. For male attires, we use about 2 or 3 inches to fold it neatly. Can you see the facing on the neckline? See, you see that it is the exact imitation of the neckline. Don't forget, if one is wider than one, it won't work. It will, at the end of the day, it will become an error. So I hope you can all see what I'm doing. Just sew whatever you use as your sewing allowance. Some people use 1/4, some people use half of an inch to sew. So I'm going to sew the circumference of the neck round, and then I'm going to top stitch it before I now sew the opening. Can you see? So I'm going to top stitch, fold my joining under to the facing. Do you get? Here I'm notching it so that the neckline is going to relax well. So fold the joining, that piece of joining, under the facing, and then top stitch it. Top stitch the facing to the piece of joining, to that half inch you joined. Do you get? Make sure it is under the facing and then top stitch so that the neckline is going to relax well. It is going to relax well. Can you see what I'm doing? So go ahead and do this before you now turn the design at the neckline. Can you see it is well relaxed like this? There is no excess of pieces, there's no excess of fabric showing, especially the joining part. I hope you can all see. So it gives room for neat finishing. So sorry about the noise. It gives room for neat finishing. So can you see I'm going to turn this out, and then I'm going to notch the end of the joining. Notch it very close to the joining, not too close so that it doesn't tear. Just notch it very close to the joining, and can you see what neat finishing I have? So I'm going to finish everything and take it to the iron to iron. I'm going to do the same thing to the back. Place the facing on the back. Can you see it is the exact imitation? The neckline, the measurement, everything is the same. So just sew it all around with your sewing allowance, and then notch the joining, notch the sewing so that it gives room for relaxation, so that your joining is going to relax. And then go ahead and top stitch under the facing. This is very, very easy and sweet to make. I hope you follow the procedure. I hope you make one for yourself. I'd like to know in the comment section. So just follow the procedure and then top stitch under the facing, top stitch it under the facing, and then I hope you can all see what I'm doing. After this, I'm going to go ahead and iron. This is so lovely. I'm going to join the belt as well. Fold the belt into two and then start joining from the tip. You are only closing one part of the belt, which is the tip. The other part will be open since I'm inserting the two by the sides. I hope you can also see, since I'm inserting the two by the sides, I'm only closing one part of the sleeve. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other belt. Can you see that? Just sew with whatever allowance you sew with, half an inch or 1/4, whatever you are used to. Just use it to join it. Then after joining, I'm going to go ahead and turn it out. I'm going to turn the belt out to the right side of the fabric. Turn it out to the right side of the fabric. Make sure it is well turned, so that it is neat. I'm going to do the same thing to the other belt. Use whatever you are using to turn it out to push it out very well so that it is well turned at the edge. Can you see what I have? So I'm going to go ahead and iron it open first and then iron the edge neatly. Just iron the edge neatly. I hope you can all see what I'm doing. So this is very easy to make, and you can even make this in less than 1 hour. Yes, that's how long it takes me to make it ready to wear, in less than 1 hour, if you are working with stable electricity, of course. You are working with stable electricity, pian pian pian, you are done. So I've ironed the belt. I'm going to go ahead and iron the front piece of my dress. As you can see, that front piece I turned earlier, use iron to smoothen it. Use iron to lay it down. Use iron to make it equal, both the facing and the fabric itself and the front piece. I hope you can all see that. This is so lovely. I'm loving this already. If you don't have a steam iron, make sure to get one. It is very, very important to make ready to wear and ashwebi wears. It is very, very important. So this is the sleeve. I have to iron the folding to make sure it is well relaxed. Also iron the other sleeve just to make sure it is well relaxed. Ironing is very, very good for ready to wear. Can you see this? So this is the back as well. This is the back piece. So I'm going to iron and make sure the neckline relax. Make sure it is well relaxed. So that is how I'm going to go ahead and continue the sewing. By the neckline, I'm going to use the back to turn the front. I hope you can. Just join it together by the shoulder line. But if you know how to use the facing to turn it, you can turn it. If not, you can just join it together. I hope you can all see. Can you see how neat this is? Can you see there's no excess at the neckline? So try as much as possible to avoid excess. Whatever you are cutting for the front piece, cut the exact same thing for the back piece, apart from the neckline that differs, of course. So can you see this is well turned? Can you see this is so lovely and well turned? I'm going to go ahead and iron this after joining the piece of fabric together. Can you see? So this is me joining the belt to the main dress. Just join it at the under bust. Make sure to join it at the under bust. If you don't know where the under bust is, just measure your half length and then come up by 3 inches or less than 2.5 or 3 inches. 2 to 3 inches. Come up from the half length by 2 to 3 inches so that the belt is fixed at your under bust, so that it will be fitting on the gown. Do you get my point? It creates fitting. So I'm going to join the dress by 1 inch, the sewing allowance I added earlier. I hope you can all see this. So I'll be weaving the whole dress after the complete sewing. That is when I'll be weaving the whole dress. So this is very easy to make, like I said. Don't forget the pocket allowance I notched earlier. I'm going to stop the sewing there and then leave the allowance and continue the sewing at the other notched part. Can you see? So this is going to be the opening for the pocket where you can dip your hand in. So if you don't know how to fix the pocket as well, I'm going to do it in a very simple way. Just hold one side of the dress, open it, and then place your pocket facing it. Can you see? Make sure the pocket is facing it and then join it down. Can you see? So I'm going to do the same thing at the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. Can you see? Just make sure the right side is facing the right side of the dress. Separately, don't join it together. Separately. Can you see what I did there? So I'm going to come back to the part I stopped the sewing, notch, and then sew it down to the end of the pocket. Can you see what I did there? If you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. This is very, very easy to make. I'm going to continue the sewing as well at the other side. I noticed I missed some parts of the pocket, so I went back to join it again. Can you see? If you are finding this difficult to make, you can just drop a question or drop a comment. I'll probably make a video for you. So I'm joining the other side. This is the other side. I'm joining with my 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to stop at the pocket notch. Can you see? I stopped at the pocket notch, leave the pocket allowance, and then continue my sewing at the other notched part. It is very, very important to knit your dress as you sew on the machine. It gives room for neatness, and then especially for people that forget things after sewing, so your clients don't complain. At the end of the day, it's not as if a client will be finding out there will be a on cut off thread, some threads that were not cut off inside the dress, and that will be really, really embarrassing. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on the pocket to the other side. Make sure it is facing the right hand side of the fabric, and then join it all the way, just one piece to one piece, not together. I'm going to do the same thing at the other side. Hold it together and then join it down, sew it together. Then I'm going to continue the sewing from where I stopped, and then use it to close up the pocket. If you want a clearer video on this, you can make a comment. I'll definitely make a video for you. So I'm going to continue from where I stopped again at the other side, and use the sewing to close up the pocket. So this is basically everything about the dress. I hope you can all see. So what we have to do next is to fix the sleeve and hem the down part of the dress. When I said earlier that this is so easy to make, I was not joking. So I'm going to close my sleeve up by 1/2 inch, and then measure the armhole. Make sure it tallies with the armhole of the dress, not too much, not too small, to avoid any kind of error, to avoid childish error. When one is bigger than one, there will be gathers at the armhole, which is not good at all for your sewing. And gathers does not make dresses fit well, except it is intentionally gathered, except it is a style. Do you get? So can you see the sleeve already? I'm going to go ahead and iron both the dress and the sleeve. Iron it correctly so that I have a neat and lovely sleeve. Can you see what I'm doing? Iron the whole sleeve itself. Do the same thing to the other sleeve. One of the very important aspects of ready to wear is the ironing. I'm not going to lie to you. Ironing is the heartbeat of ready to wear. Ironing is like everything. Ironing is everything to ready to wear. So I'm going to iron the neckline. Sorry. Can you see that neckline I opened the other time? I joined. So I'm going to iron it at the back. And then iron the whole dress itself. Iron the whole dress. Iron it neatly. Take your time. This is ready to wear. Do you get my point? And it is very easy to make. If you follow all the correct procedures, it is very easy to make. Ready to wear in the fashion industry is like easy money, no stress. You are not buying lining, you are not buying much interface, you are not buying this, you are not. Do you get my point? It has minimal spending, less spending, but big profit if it's done properly, if it is done well. If you really turn up and give the clients what they want, you make big profits and ready to wear. So this is what I have. At the end of the day, my dress is ready. I'm just doing some ironing, and then I'm going to fix this. So make sure the joining on the bodies and the joining on the sleeve tallies. The armhole directly, that is where you are going to start your sleeve. The joining on the body and the joining on the sleeve, make sure they are both the same. Make sure they both tally. So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm joining whatever allowance you join with, be it half an inch, be it 1/4, use it to join, and tuck the sleeve in. Tuck the sleeve in and finish the joining. Can you see? I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. This is so easy to make. So make sure they both tally and then start joining. So can you see what I'm doing? Join it neatly and just take your time. There's no need to rush. Can you see what I have at the end of the day? So I'm just going to hem the down of the gown now. You could fold it once if there's self edge, but if not, you can fold it twice, a little bit twice, or whatever allowance you want to hem with. I'm hemming with half an inch, so folded twice, that is 1 inch. So I already added 1 inch to the length of the gown. Do this carefully and take your time. There's no need to rush. This is ready to wear, and the uniqueness is in the neat finishing and ironing. Sincerely, the uniqueness of ready to wear, almost everybody knows ready to wear as simple wears, but the uniqueness is in the attention to details, neat finishing, and then the ironing. Our dress is ready. Let me know what you think about this tutorial. Would you like me to make similar tutorials as well? Something close to this? You can also send me a DM if you have difficulties in any area of sewing. I will definitely make a video for you. So this is what we have. I'm just ironing the hemming. Can you see this? I'm ironing the hem part of the gown, the down part. So our dress is definitely ready. I'm going to try this on my dummy and see how it looks. Let's see how this looks. I'm sure this is going to turn out great. Yeah, so this is my dummy. Don't mind the environment. So I'm going to put this on the dummy and we are going to see the end result. Wow, this is so lovely. This is so nice. This is so nice. So I'm going to tie the belt at the back. Wow. I hope you try it out someday. Let me know how it turned out. I like to know. I really love to know. Bye.